In the near future, she remembers when she met Josh at a store, where he accidentally knocked over a box of oranges. From the very first moment, she felt attracted to him and was charmed by his smile. They exchanged names, and from that day on, they started living together. Later, the couple is on their way to a cabin by the lake to meet Josh's friends. Along the way, he jokes about how she slept through almost the entire trip. Iris, feeling a bit confused, notices that the GPS isn't showing anything and asks where they are. Soon they arrive at a stunning house surrounded by trees and flowers. The car announces their arrival and they both say thanks as they walk toward the house. Suddenly, Iris stops. The problem is that she has the feeling Josh's friends don't like her. She's afraid of saying the wrong thing and embarrassing herself. Nervously, Josh tries to reassure her, telling her not to imagine problems that don't exist and to smile more. When they arrive, Kat greets them and invites them in. Inside, mutual friends Eli and Patrick, along with Sergey, Kat's boyfriend, and the owner of the house, are already settled in. Sergey compliments Iris's beauty as he sees her for the first time. In response, she comments on how beautiful she finds his house. Later, Kat shows the couple where they'll be sleeping. Upstairs in the bedroom, Iris begins unpacking. Without noticing, she pulls out a folded pocket knife from among her dresses. Later, she heads to the bathroom and reminds herself that she needs to appear happy during dinner. Patrick recalls how he met Eli. He had shown up at a carnival dressed as Dracula and accidentally stepped on the tail of a dinosaur costume that Eli was wearing. Iris insists that his stories are really exciting. After all, when Josh was still a stranger to her, just one look was enough to know she'd do anything to see him happy. After dinner, Patrick jokingly asks Sergey what he does for a living. With a smile, Sergey replies that sometimes he has to get his hands dirty. Meanwhile, Kat tells Iris that Sergey is the perfect man, rich, intelligent, and married to a beautiful woman. As for her, Kat says she feels like nothing more than a pretty accessory, always expected to follow his rules. She clarifies that she doesn't hate Iris, but seeing her makes Kat feel replaceable. Iris doesn't quite understand what she means. Eli puts on some music and invites everyone to dance, creating a warm atmosphere as the group enjoys themselves. Iris notices Josh talking with Kat and pulls him aside. Later that night, she tells him she's happy to be there with him, but Josh interrupts her, saying he wants to go to sleep. The next morning, Iris invites Josh to go to the lake, but he suggests she go alone while he showers and has breakfast. As she walks toward the lake, admiring the scenery, she puts her hand in her shorts pocket and feels the pocket knife. At that moment, Sergey approaches. To his surprise, Iris responds to him in Russian. Sergey proposes a toast to love, which makes her uncomfortable. Just as she's about to head back, he asks her to apply sunscreen to his back and shoulders. As she does, he suddenly grabs her, whispering that he has always wanted her and that she was meant for this. Iris begs him to let go. Meanwhile, the others are relaxing in the living room, sharing stories, when suddenly Iris bursts in, covered in blood and holding the pocket knife. The group demands an explanation. She tries to tell them what happened. Sergey tried to force himself on her. She asked him to stop, but he wouldn't listen. When she pushed him, he hit his head. When he came to, he was aggressive and pinned her down. That's when she remembered the knife. She couldn't let Sergey come between her and Josh. She loved him too much. At that moment, Josh gives a single command: sleep, and Iris collapses. Later, Patrick ties Iris to a chair, while Eli gives Kat some medicine and helps her to bed. Josh realizes there's no other choice but to go to the police. Eli agrees, though he doesn't understand why Iris's aggression blocker failed. Josh asks for a moment alone to say goodbye. Then he activates it, and Iris begins to panic as she realizes she's tied up. She begs to be released, insisting she's telling the truth about Sergey's assault. However, Josh has no doubts, because Iris simply can't lie. She is a rented companion robot from the Empathic Robotics Company, designed to provide intimate services and emotional support to her owner. Iris thinks he's making some kind of absurd joke, but Josh asks her about the weather and she automatically recites the full forecast, including temperature and humidity. Next, he tests her language skills by opening an app on his phone. With a few taps, she begins speaking in Spanish, then in Chinese. She can understand and communicate in multiple languages simply by switching a command. Iris insists that she has her own memories, but Josh explains that all of them are artificial. Even their supposed meeting at the store near the oranges was something he selected from a list of scenarios offered by the company. In reality, company representatives delivered her directly to his home, explaining that upon activation, she would form a romantic attachment to create an emotional bond with her owner. He can change her voice, eye color, and even aspects of her personality. Iris herself would never suspect that she's not human. Her main function is to care for him, and in extreme situations, he can reset all her configurations by pressing a button located behind her ear. Her emotions and intelligence can be adjusted, ranging from the level of a college graduate to that of a simple machine with no personal desires, all through a smartphone app. She is also unable to lie or harm any living being. After the engineers left, Josh sat in front of Iris, entered the necessary commands, and at that moment, she found herself once again in the store next to the pile of oranges, falling in love with him all over again with all her heart. In the present, Iris doesn't understand what he's saying because she feels love, anger, guilt, and sadness. She knows what pain is, but Josh explains that it's all part of her programming, made to seem realistic. Even her tears are just water stored in a special reservoir. Slowly, Iris begins to believe him, but even if she's not real, she still belongs to him and she wants to go home. Josh reminds her that she took someone's life and nothing can ever be the same. Just then, Kat enters, insisting that Iris must be shut down. Josh steps away to talk with her. While they argue, Iris notices the pocket knife lying on the floor. Josh tries to convince Kat to give Iris a chance to understand the truth. He argues that she's done so much for them and he wants the opportunity to say goodbye. Kat objects, calling Iris a piece of plastic. Meanwhile, Iris manages to grab the pocket knife and overhears Josh talking about his plan to deactivate her, open a bottle of champagne, and wait for the police to arrive. The robot had taken care of several problems for them, and they had been planning this for so long that now, with everything going according to plan, Josh can hardly believe his luck. Josh and Kat embrace, but when he returns to the bedroom, he's shocked to find Iris free. She strikes him, steals his phone, and escapes. He and Patrick watch as she vanishes into the forest. Later, Josh admits to his friends that he hacked Iris using an illegal black market modification, one that increased her aggression level and disabled her built-in inability to harm living beings. If she's found and the alteration is discovered, he could be in serious trouble. Eli is horrified to realize that Sergey's death may have been orchestrated, but Josh explains that Sergey was a dangerous man involved in trafficking illegal substances, weapons, and even people. Josh then offers to show why Sergey had to be eliminated. He and Patrick head to the house, where Kat opens a safe protected by a code based on Stalin's birth date. Inside are $12 million, money they plan to steal. The couple was invited to witness a murder committed by Josh's companion. Eli demands that the money be split 4 ways, but the killers refuse to give any share to a robot. Angry, Eli deactivates Patrick and starts arguing. Josh coldly tells him that while he may love his outdated toy, one he never bothered to upgrade, Patrick is still just a machine. Besides, Eli hasn't done anything to earn a share. In the end, it was Josh who devised the entire plan and planted the pocket knife in Iris's shorts. Eventually, Eli agrees to help track down the runaway robot. He grabs a weapon from Sergey's safe and reactivates Patrick, inviting him to join the hunt. Meanwhile, Iris studies the app on Josh's phone. She changes her eye color and voice and then boosts her intelligence to 100%, far above the original 40%. The search party splits up to find her. Iris, on the other hand, forms a plan to escape. She needs to return home, clean up any evidence, and figure out her next steps. She considers heading to the main road to hitch a ride, but quickly realizes what a driver might think upon seeing her covered in blood. Walking isn't an option either. It would take too long, and Josh would already be home waiting to kill her. Iris then remembers that Josh's car can be controlled through his phone and decides to return to the cabin. However, she ends up encountering Patrick and Eli in the middle of an argument. Patrick knows he's a companion robot, but he still loves Eli. Their confession is cut short by the sound of a branch snapping under Iris's feet. Realizing she's been discovered, she runs. Eli fires his weapon but misses. The shot alerts Josh and Kat, who run toward the sound. Eli is the first to catch up to Iris. They fight, and during the struggle, she manages to take the gun and shoots him, killing him. Josh arrives moments later and tries to deactivate her, but Iris escapes and makes it into the car. As Josh tries to break the door open, she realizes a serious problem. The vehicle only responds to Josh's voice commands and refuses to take her anywhere. Iris remembers the app on his phone and tries to imitate his voice. Meanwhile, he's smashing the window with a rock. Just when it seems he'll break through, the car finally recognizes the voice and starts, running over Josh's foot as it speeds away. Josh grabs Sergey's phone and reports the car as stolen, triggering a security protocol that forces the vehicle to pull over, lock its doors, and trap Iris inside. Josh calls Iris, promising that things can go back to the way they were and suggesting they could blame Patrick for the murders. She ends the call. Josh returns to Patrick and reprograms him, disabling his built-in safety limits, increasing his aggression, and ordering him to find and bring Iris back. To ensure Patrick's loyalty, Josh registers him as his new companion. Now, in Patrick's rewritten memory, it was Josh, dressed as the dinosaur at the carnival. Meanwhile, a local sheriff stops the vehicle just as Iris is trying to escape through the broken window. She pretends to be a foreigner, confusing the officer until he notices the bloodstained pocket knife on the seat. He draws his weapon, but Patrick appears on the road and kills him, then uses Josh's phone to remotely deactivate Iris. Patrick brings her back to the house. Kat is horrified when she sees the sheriff's body and the car. She decides to leave, grabbing the money. Before leaving, she confesses that she lied. Sergey wasn't a Russian mobster, just a wealthy agricultural tycoon. That's what he meant by getting his hands dirty. Josh is furious when he learns the truth and orders Patrick to stop her. Patrick stabs Kat in the back. She crawls to the sofa, collapses beside the unconscious Iris, and dies. Later, Patrick prepares dinner for Josh, who seats Iris, still handcuffed, at the table and activates her. While she's still dazed, Josh launches into a philosophical monologue about the value of life, painting himself as a victim of an unfair society. But Iris mocks him, pointing out that he's done nothing to improve his life. He just complains, bitter and dissatisfied. No amount of money can hide that he's a petty, bitter man with a small mind. Enraged, Josh lowers Iris's intelligence to 0%, turning her into a mindless shell. He forces her to hold her hand over an open flame. Then he calls empathic robotics to request her retrieval. After hanging up, he gives her one final command: to shoot herself in the head. Without hesitation, she obeys. When the empathic robotics technicians, Sid and Teddy, arrive, Josh claims his companion bot went rogue and nearly killed him. Patrick, now disguised as the sheriff, backs up his story. As the engineers collect the robot's parts, they explain that these models record everything they experience, storing the data in their abdominal core. The headshot only disabled her Wi-Fi antenna. As the workers return to their vehicle, it becomes clear from their conversation that they don't believe Josh's version of events. Serious consequences await him, but before they can leave, Patrick steps in front of their car and opens fire. Sid is killed, but Teddy manages to escape. Meanwhile, Iris, placed into recovery mode, reboots and starts running after them. Patrick catches up to Teddy and is about to eliminate him, but Iris intervenes. She reminds him of the love he once felt. Suddenly, Patrick remembers his true partner and ends his own life using a stun weapon. Back at the house, Josh is stuffing a backpack with all the money from the vault when he hears footsteps. Thinking it's Patrick, he's caught off guard when Iris appears instead. She reveals that Teddy, grateful for her saving his life, granted her full autonomy, freeing her from all app commands. Now she's finally free. Josh tries to attack her, but stops when he notices that she is holding a weapon. Iris explains that she came back just to tell him that he is no longer her master. This enrages him, and he lunges at her, managing to take the weapon and force her to admit that he is still everything to her. However, they end up in a fight while Josh tries to finish her once and for all. When he's about to complete the task, she eliminates him with an electric skewer. The next morning, Iris takes a shower, revealing the metallic structure underneath. She then collects the money and leaves, driving on the road. She crosses paths with a car where a man is traveling with a companion identical to her. The robot smiles, and the scene ends with her metallic hand. This was the recap of the 2025 movie Companion. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.